I know that's right.
Mais comment ça va, chers? It's me, Chef Harley Fondo, better known as the Parrain. I'm back with the Bon Temps Cookin Show. And I'm making a pork roast and some sweet potato casserole, chef. So for your sweet potato casserole, what you're gonna need is some sweet potatoes, obviously, some butter, and make sure you put that in your pocket. And we got some marshmallows, some vanilla, some pecans, some cinnamon, and some sugar. And for your pork roast, you're gonna need some seasoning. And we're gonna use that Scott's again because I like it so much. And we got some chicken and beef base. We got some garlic, onions, bell pepper, and of course, your pork roast. And make sure you slap the hell out of that to make it taste better. Now after you peel that, it's time to cut your little vegetables, T. Now as you could probably tell, I cut that for the bottom of the pan for the roast. But I'm about to cut all this right here to stuff inside that bad boy. And I'm gonna grind it up. Watch, I'm gonna show you. Now that you grinded that, what we're gonna do is put some seasoning in there. And I'm gonna put a lot, because this stuff is good, yeah. And the beautiful thing about this is not too salty. It got all the onion and garlic you need, so you can put a lot. And you mix that up real good. I'm gonna use that to stuff our roast. Alright, so what we got right here is a pork butt roast. And I'm gonna show y'all how to stuff it right here. We're gonna peel that back. And you see they got this flap that's just hanging right there. Spoon that. And that's alright if a little bit spills out on you. Which it probably will. But that's okay. That's all getting in there. They're gonna take your big grand knife and make you some slits across the top. And spoon that too. So now that you stuffed this, it's time to season that. And again, we're going to use that Scott's. So after you season that, make sure your oven is on 350 and get you some beef bouillon base and some chicken bouillon base. And you need 2 cups of hot water. And you're gonna take a tablespoon of each of these things and put them in there and mix them up. And that's like magic, chef. Alright, so, and the reason you want this water hot is to make sure that base melts real good in there when you mix it. And then you're gonna pour that, not on the roast, because you don't wanna knock off all that good seasoning you just put. So you're gonna pour it all around the roast. And it's not gonna look like a whole lot, but let me tell you something. That roast is gonna melt the fat down and stuff, and it's gonna make more juice anyway. So that's why you don't put a whole lot at the bottom, because you don't wanna boil that, you wanna roast that. Now let's stick it in the oven. And once you put that in the oven, it's gonna take a long time, like 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours. We want that thing to get real tender. So while that's doing, we're gonna peel these potatoes. And let me tell you something. Lâche pas la patate. So after you peel that, what you're gonna do is cut it and watch out for your little fingers. And you want to keep them all close to the same size. just like I always tell y'all. And if y'all try it the other way, y'all see why I tell y'all that. So, chop that up, put that in there, and you boil it until you can pass it with a fork real easy and cut that, and then you bring it back over here. Now while that's boiling, I'm gonna tell y'all a little joke. So Boudreaux was passing Thibodeau's house, and he realized they had a sign on the road that said boat for sale. And boy, he was hurt. So he went to Thibodeau and he said, man, he said, as long as I've been knowing you and you never told me you had a boat, he said, we could have been fishing. He was like, what you mean a boat? He said, you got a sign out there, it says boat for sale. He said, man, come on, Boudreaux. He said, look over there. He said, you see that old truck? He said, yeah. He said, now you see that old car over there next to it? He said, yeah. He said, well, they both for sale. Okay, y'all, man, this roast has been cooking for like 3.5 hours, and what I'm about to do is pull it out and do what I call the fork test. Woo! Man, look at that. Now see, you want to just find you a good piece of meat and pass your fork, and when it does like this, T, man, goddamn, that's ready. And I'm gonna save this piece for me to taste. And after you pass that fork test, what you're gonna do right here is pour your little gravy out. You gotta be real careful so that roast don't fall out. I'm kind of scared right now. That sounds like after a long night at Bada's. Now, what you're gonna do with this is put that on the stove and get it to boiling, Chad. And while that's boiling right there, what we're gonna do is take our roast after we drain that, and we're gonna put that in the oven with no cover on so we can get a little bit more of a bark on the outside, a little color. So, slap that in there, close that. Then you're gonna take your little fork and you're gonna pass it in your potato and see how easy it cuts. Watch. And when it cuts real easy like that, you're gonna turn that off. And now I'm gonna show y'all how to do a slurry, is what we call it, with cornstarch and cold water to thicken that so it lays real pretty over your little rice. And what I do is I put like a 1/2 cup of water, cold water, in a bowl, and I put a big old heavy tablespoon of cornstarch in there and whip it up together. And while this is boiling, you pour it in and mix it, and it makes it tick bowl. Look at this. Woo. And see, this is a little too thick. So if it's a little too thick, just add a little bit of water to it and get it how you want it. And see, the point of this is to go over the rice like a rice and gravy. So just use your judgment and make it however thick you want. And now, like I told y'all, how them potatoes are soft, I really meant that. So that means we're about to go strain that, and I'm gonna show y'all what to put in it. So after you strain your potatoes, you're gonna put that back in that pot. And make sure you do this while it's still hot. And right here, we're gonna add a whole cup of sugar. And it don't matter if you think that looks like a lot, because it's not. And we're gonna put 3 teaspoons of vanilla. And if you got that good old Mexican vanilla, that's even better. But just use what you got. Then we're gonna put some cinnamon, and I'm gonna guess it's like 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And you're gonna mash that together. But wait, I got a secret for y'all. I got some butter in my pocket again, and I know y'all been waiting for that. But let me just show y'all how soft this butter is. Just slaps on the counter. So we're gonna pour that out by y'all. Cow. And this one's gonna be a little messy because it busts. But all in all, we're using 2 sticks of melted butter from your hot pocket. But I don't know if your pocket's as hot as mine. And now you mix all that together. And y'all gotta, man, I wish they had smell-o-vision, because if you could smell this, y'all would wanna hop in my calzones right now, because let me tell you something. It smells like a sweet potato pie, chef. So you whip all that together till it's real smooth. And then you're gonna pour it in here. Straight in the panty. Make sure you don't waste none. And you just shake it, baby. Get on down till that thing turns flat. And we're gonna put some marshmallows on that. All right. And just let it have it, boy. Just smear that all over. I'm gonna save a few for me to snack on. You spread that out. Then we're gonna come with the pecans. And put them little children away because I'm about to talk about my nuts. Oh yeah. Man, look at that. Let me tell you something, it's better than that lady making spaghetti-o pizza, I'll tell you that. So, before you eat all your little nuts, you're gonna stick this in the oven at about 350 until your marshmallows get little brown tips on them and your nuts are roasted. Now that you let your little meat sit in there for a while, it's starting to get some little darkness on the top. And it's got like what you call a bark on the outside where it's gonna stay together. And this is ready. So what we're waiting on right now is them potatoes. And whenever them sweet potatoes are ready, it's time to manger, chef.